Well, I knew you, everybody. That's a little bit of a jump over. There we go. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. If you are here and you've managed to find me, welcome to Lemuria 5. We are on planet Matea, planet of light. So, Miss Annie Bear coming and going. We love you. Thank you for stopping by. I know everybody's really busy. Spring is starting. So, so we're going to start out with Randy says Wabanui. And again, I'm going to repeat this for everybody that's new to what I'm teaching. Wa is the Lemurian principle of first love. Wawa means much love, and Wawanui means much love to everyone. So this is some of the languaging that we're using. Hello. Hello, Ethnicity. Hi, Rossi. Jumpa jumpa. Wawa. Much love, Amy Bear. Much love. Belly rubs through Rosie. Yes, yes, yes. Did we know? Oh, wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Did you know that today, 19 years ago, we lost Prince? It's interesting that you should say that. Prince was the musician that was from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, predominantly, although he went all the way through the 2000s. And then with that, Purple Rain was one of his power albums, but the man was incredible. He was Kopanui, and he was self-taught for all of his instruments. He was an incredible artist. What was I saying about the sore throat? Somebody, whenever I was doing the oracle card read for the astrology this week, was starting to affect my throat. And sometimes that can be where people are coming in and either they themselves have it. One or two things are happening. Because whenever I come in to talk to all of you, I tend to have an open channel going. And so what will happen is I will go ahead and open up to see whatever is going on in your body tends to reflect, and I'll be picking up the energy from absolutely everybody. So it'll be critters on top of the people. The other thing that can sometimes happen is a little unusual, and it has kind of toned down. I think people got really bored with me. But there used to be somebody that kept attacking my throat. That was predominantly last year. And they just kept coming and hanging out in the audience, and I just kept clearing their throat for them because it's like, nope, we're going to speak. I'm going to speak. My dad's been in my head and voice. Yeah, and you're both Okapis. Hello, Huna Hamanisa. Hello, Wawanui. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so the main thing on it is I'll go ahead and just do some clearing of the energy because it's still kind of just a little bit in the throat. And I think, was it Randy? Yeah, I woke up with a congested head. Beautiful. So we'll probably go ahead and just start moving some of the energy around the head and everything. Ah, happy Earth Day. Happy to Planet Matea Day. That is, let me put that in there for everybody so you can see how it's spelled. Is we are on Lemuria 5, which is Planet Matea, which is Lemuria 5th generation that we've done this. So we've been here a few times, as they say. There and back again, multiple times. Yours too, huh, Amanisa? Everybody seems to be having a little bit of it. It was interesting. Like I said, it was not so much. Oh, and if something happens where I'm picking up on some sort of an ache or I've got like a closing throat or something, do not feel like you are harming me and that you need to retreat or leave. It does not affect me that way, not at all. What I'm doing is I'm actually using my body to kind of get a map of whatever's going on with your bodies. And then as we're cleaning and clearing it, of course, it's cleaning and clearing my own meridians, but right after the shows or even during the shows, you'll see me constantly balancing my own energy field. So I do not hold on to that. It won't affect me. Been around the block a few times. Nope. And of course, During any of our energy healing or cleaning that we do right now, if you do any yawning, sneezing, coughing, burping, passing wind, tummy gurgles, and then sometimes, not usually, but sometimes you'll have this oddity where you will feel like your limbs need to move out or stretch or point or something. Those are also energies moving. If you could go ahead and get yourself a drink of water, just like I just did right now. And the reason why is because that means that, yeah, my throat's already improving. That means that you've actually had some toxins dumped into your bloodstream. And so you're going to want to take some of the water in order to flush that out of your body. Hi, Karen Doyle. Lovely to see you over here. Lori Hunsinger. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Actually, I wanted to ask Randy right quick. I've got a couple questions in here. Randy, were you ever able to do like some sort of a meditation or something? The Telosians, they've got a message for you, and I'm getting the crossed arms. She's still not shown up. So if you could settle down and maybe make contact with them, they seem to have some sort of a message for you. So they're the ones that are the Pleiadians that are underneath. They live in Telos, that is underneath Mount Shasta. And so I am delivering the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger, basically. Yeah, beautiful. Woohoo! Paul's all set. Hi, Carl. Welcome in, honey. Gray is asking, how does the, let me jump this up here right quick. Monkey mind, overthinking is your energy today. We will do some slowdown for that. How does the cleaning work? As in, can it be done as a collective? What we can do, Gray, is I'm going to go through, because I know for a fact, and I'm hoping I'm not speaking out of turn, but Carl is struggling behind the scenes a bit with his environment and his collective family, we'll say. And so I also wanted to touch base right quick. Hypnicity, is your family situation a little calmer? Maybe I'll try to connect. That's a good idea, Randy. I know last week, Hypnicity, we did a special activation for your family situation to try to get everybody kind of not even so much on the same page, but more or less get everybody a little bit more on the same page, energetically speaking. Okay, great. That's great. It can take time. That particular activation for the family constellations that we did last week, that's a specific sacred activation from Tamara Ovia. And so that will take time. It can take days, weeks, months even to completely unfold. So you'll get to see that kind of like a rose unfolding for you. So let me see. So your individual space clearings, Gray, is going to be something different. But what I'm going to share today, beautiful. Oh, I'm so glad to hear. What I'm going to share today, we could actually have you go room by room by room by room by room and repeat it. In fact, if you were to go to the Lemurian, I think it's a video that I have on the front. It's something like Lemurian recentering and rebalancing. If you take that video and you play the Lemurian codes in that, then we'll go ahead and clean your space. It's a little more involved to do the full space clearing, home clearing thing, because you really do need to do some specific ceremonies around it. And kind of like whenever a priest comes to bless your home, Paul Freed had that earlier this year whenever he moved homes. You'll notice that you need to open up cabinets, and they'll actually be actively pulling the energy in and around from each room. So it's a little more detailed, but we can certainly use those key codes on the fly to do. I mean, I've done a cleansing before from Tammy Jackson. Her kitty cat in a space was being attacked. So we actually did some live cleaning and clearing of her house space so her cat could be much more comfortable. Dogs are testing each other. Ouch. That is tough. Hypnicity, what kind of a mix do you have? I know there's 4 of them. How many females, how many males? And I know it's a little complicated, but how many? What are the ages of each? If you could just type that, it's a little more involved. Oh, go Manny, give him honey. Okay, it's tough, but it's a lot of it's a little harder whenever you're a kid because you just don't have a choice. I mean, you've got to adapt to absolutely everything whenever you go in. But I don't know, it can be kind of cool. I mean, we whenever I was growing up, we've had kids that came in during like middle school and high school, and they kind of turned it into their superpower because they weren't from the area. And yeah, hypnicity, as Randy is saying, no matter what, you're the alpha. So it does not matter whatever petty fights that they're doing amongst themselves. Whenever you walk into the room, that's who's holding the top dog position. Okay, so we've got a golden female, terrier male. Are your huskies both boys or are they girls? Hey, Karen, how you doing? Usually, male female works. If you've got male male or female female, you'll see some of the clashing a little bit. They'll have a bit of a tiff to see who's going to be up on top. And of course, you've got the whole thing with the Huskies where it's like this is my space, and so you've got the whole territorial thing. Tiny stray orange white spot took home the night Zoe died. It could be too with Carl, because Carl is struggling right now. Many of his kitties are coming and going very, very quickly. Looks familiar, didn't complain. That's great. What you can find too is sometimes your others, even if they aren't incarnate in that body, if it's that young, they could do a walk-in into that kitten and just simply take you over. I'm glad. I'm glad you're starting to get some newbies in here. Okay. So we are already doing some energy work, but what I'm going to do, right quick, is we're going to first start off with balancing our energy. He's the alpha. Okay. Okay. Yeah, what I mean is, Carl, with that, Zoe could easily be stepping into that kitten, but he might also be hanging back for a little bit to see if that kitten's going to make it. And so we may actually need to just, I'm going to speak right quick hang on a second. First things first, I do want to do some energy work. So let's get everybody here and on the replay. I want to get us all on the same page, energetically speaking. And this is going to be some multidimensionality. This is also going to help with Carl, your environment, hypnicity. This is going to help with your environment as well. So if you're having some turbulent times with your families and with your home situations or with your environmental stuff, this languaging is actually going to start working on the environment. And what it's going to have is it's going to start collapsing negative energies, and then it will begin to bring in the higher frequencies, and it will help to balance things out. This is a bit of a whitewash, whitewater type, rapids type. We're navigating the energies this week. And so I would really suggest that you stay on your higher frequencies as much as you can. Lean into, this is the last week of the Motu being supported with the Motu of Tuatara, which is the smiling gecko. So lean into the laughter. And yeah, Randy is saying exactly what I was thinking. Hip, when the hubby leaves the house, you're the alpha. And in it's interesting because in some instances that I've seen with men that are doing the training the aggression dogs or the protection dogs, they actually say that it is the female who is the actual alpha. One man, he's got I want to say a cane corso that he works with to teach and train the women how to work with protection dogs. And as soon as you step into your mama energy, then they will not breach that because it's like, ooh, alpha mama. No, I don't think so. Oh, my dog's napping with me right now on the AC. That's so sweet. Yeah, worried to be. Oh, okay. Okay. Is she in the home hypnicity or is she nearby? My guides. This is exactly it. That's the same thing that happened to me this week. My higher self was pulling me up, and it's like, no, handed me the surfboard. Here we go. I'm not that awesome on a surfboard. More like a wobble board. But yeah, it's we've got to surf the waves this week. So let's start off with the energy here right quick because there's going to be a lot of motion happening. If you were driving and you are not used to energy, please turn it off. You can listen to this on the replay. Sometimes I've had people get a little dizzy with this one. Since we've got a bit more distress, I'm actually going to bring in a little bit more energy as I do this one this week. Okay? I don't blame them. And in fact, hypnicity, keep them safe and at your space. Rossi, I've been on the surfboard, added it. That's funny. Yes, absolutely. You always, that's your safest space. And you know what? Everybody's like, oh, you're dominating them. Actually, they need that because otherwise your poor pets get really, the dogs especially, they need to have that top dog already taken because otherwise they end up with all kinds of imbalances and they're terrified and they're on emotional roller coasters thinking that they're the ones that have to micromanage everything. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, this is going to be different. Give me just a second, everybody. I normally do just one person's thing, so I'm actually going to do, because I'm dipping into some environments, let me pull up a grid work here instead. That will reach, yeah, here we go. Tihe mori ora mahakawatahi it ingwa to iri to otowan why you tapu it ingwa to fenui tarani tau why you tapu it ingwa to fire tamatua to tama why you tapu tihe mori ora ai I te a u I a te o ul ai il ma ni no do o ul un a te I a be o be a il I un ul o don't know nu ma il ai hakata toro papote hituma kakima kakika naro hawa tu takima takika tai tu te u o. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Bring it on back in. Yeah, this is quite a different energy with that. Actually had whale energy come in for that one. We had 2 mega whales that came in. Our cosmic grandmothers showed up for that one. So we're bringing in more stabilization. A lot slower, a lot deeper, way more power. They're still here and they're still pressing in case we need to do a little bit more with that. They're going to hold the space for now. And yeah, welcome back, Teresa Ford. I don't know about anybody else, but I could still feel that energy right around my nose, like the bridge of the nose. It's pretty potent this week. So what I was saying is you can take that and you can play that in each of the rooms. So Carl, I would say play that in your kitchen space, in your bedroom space, any place that the kitties are, to help balance and ground everything that's going on energetically speaking. And yeah, a lot of it is, as I was saying, hypnicity, since that is a specific problem, cool. Paul Freed's feeling the power on my legs. That is cool. That means it's moving any energy, any blockages, and it's working multi-dimensionally on that one this week. Little more potent. Needed to bring in a wee bit more power because some of these things we really do, kind of like the whales, need to have some space created for this. And it needs to be large enough and settling enough to be able to do the work. Yick. There we go. Yeah, feels like there's a 5 pound weight on my third eye. Wonderful. There we go. Beautiful. And he's taking biscuits, meowing, but not sure. Okay, Carl, hang on just a second. Let me dip into him. Yeah, it is. It was definitely needing to be moved around a lot. I'm worried too much about these things that I have zero control over. Hypnicity. I found a technique from a lady named Nida Kapoor that you might want to try. You can imagine your problem, whatever it is. You don't have to do this in detail. Just simply all of us, we know what our problems are. And then imagine it in your non-dominant hand. And then just simply say 0 5 times. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then wait until you either yawn or take a nice deep breath. And see how that feels afterwards. Right now I'm working on Manny's energy field right quick. If anybody needs some energy work, go ahead and dip into this. And we'll just go ahead and continue right quick. Kitty is what you're worried about. With Kitty, Manny, and Carl, what I'm going to do is just simply, I'm going to be working, Manny's going to be my lead, but he's going to do the energy balancing as a point out for everybody else. So it's not just one specific. That's what I was encouraging everybody for. We can actually go ahead and dip into the same energy field, because I'm just simply, what I'm doing is I'm telling the energy field what the meridian should feel like and flow like in a specific direction. And so what's going to happen is kind of like what happens whenever the resonant string happens. So if you pluck a guitar string, the same tone will begin to vibrate on a guitar that is across the room. It's really cool. But that's exactly what happens with our meridians, is it will begin to vibrate and then move in the same direction as what I'm putting out into the energy field right now. And what I'm doing is quantum mechanics. So if you're listening to this and you're doing this on a replay, you don't have to have the volume up loud for this to work. It's going to work, and it can actually work silently because of the way that the mechanics are in it. Yeah. I hope so. Manny felt quite different from the other cats that you were struggling with this week. His felt more like a viral thing instead of whatever the kitties had gotten into. And, it's really difficult with an inside-outside cat. They could walk on something and absorb things through their kitty cat paw pads and get sick. In the U.S., it's a real struggle, especially in the wintertime. They'll often get antifreeze on their feet, and then, of course, they lick to clean it. And they can get really sick from that really, really quick. But even just walking spaces where it used to be like a gas station or something, that can be a problem as well. they can absorb toxins through the feet. And of course, when you're in, because Carl is located in the Philippines, when you're in a hot environment, not only do the viruses thrive in that condition, but you will also find that the toxins and everything, it kind of speeds up because your metabolism's sped up simply because it's warmer. So we're on the tummies right now. So if you feel something weird like fluttering around your tummy, that is me. And not so much for the humans, but all of our critter friends have tails usually. So we're just going to do some work on the tail because there are points on that as well. We do have tails, we just have corgi tails. And a little bit more on the back. Okay, and since we had such a special time around the throat today, there goes the neck. We're going to do just a little bit more around the jaws, the throat. Around the eustachian tubes, the TMJ. But mostly around the vocal cords, the throat, root of the tongue. There it goes. That feels a lot better. Cool. Okay, great. Yeah, if anybody feels like sending good energy to Carl right now, he's really going through the mill with his poor babies. He's got quite a beautiful, beautiful colony of kitties, and they're just really going through the mill. Yeah, hot weather, unfortunately, will speed up the metabolism is the problem. And so if you've got a poisoning, it'll usually, uh, because the blood vessels are dilated, it will make it go that much faster throughout the body. But unfortunately, with yours, you had like 2 or 3 things that were going on. Energy wise in your home doesn't feel too bad, but yeah, I just went ahead and wanted to 0 point everything that we had. Same with hypnicity. There's, a lot of times in our environmental fields that will help. Is music good for your head? Yes, absolutely. Paul Fried, I would encourage is to be careful with your music. Be picky. This month, the frequency music, the solfeggio music of 396 hertz was very important to use. Was very supportive to use, and so you need to be picky. There are spells that are in some music, so you may be thinking that you're bebopping along, having a great time with some of the mainstream music, and in fact, you're being spelled, and it's not beneficial for you. How do you know? You think it's awesome, it's great, but then you're cranky at people. You might yell at somebody afterwards. That's just not something you normally do. Or you may feel that the song is uplifting, but overall you feel depressed about life. It makes you suddenly feel like, what's the point? So it's a little sneaky. So I really recommend going to YouTube. They have a lot of different frequency music that you can use. And so I love the ones from, I think it's called Sound Alchemist Healer. They've got a great array of them. Also, what's his name? Sapiens Medicine was another one that has really good frequency. His is more specific for different problems that you may be having as well. That's a fascinating question, Teresa Ford. You're welcome, Paul. She says, does the central heterochromia eye color have any spiritual or starseed meaning? I have seen a lot of people that have mentioned this, where they have different starseed nations and races that are in alignment with the different colors. Like for a random example, let's do Pleiadian would be something like a vivid blue eye color, or even a gray color. Hazel would be something that you would see with a Lyran. And so it's fascinating to me to see the different videos that come up. And some of the stuff, and that's just that I'm going to say whenever you hear them, feel into it, feel into your body, see if that resonates with you. Most of my Star Nation friends, to begin with, were Syrian that were stalking me. And then the other friends that came in were Arcturans. Arcturans have been the latest ones that kind of layered over the top. And they've been stalking me too. But I've been a little more resistant. But the Arcturans will be things like bear medicine. You'll see a lot of bear symbols coming in with the Arcturan type things, at least in my experiences. So it's been fun to see, and of course it would make sense because originally our races did come from the stars. Dual tones, yep. So the color that is near the pupil will be a different color. My eyes are brown by the pupil and yet green on the outside. Gorgeous. In that case, I would say that it would be a mixture. You may have actually, and it would make sense too, your ancestors could be coming through where you have two presentations, two different things that you want to work on in this lifetime. Two different expressions coming through. Yep. You're welcome. I'm still working around everybody's spines right now. Some of the energy just really wanted to be moved. Not really balanced so much as just moved. And some of it, like I said, this week is kind of up and down turmoils. And so we need to, we're leaning in towards going towards, as I said, this is our last week of Tuatara, but we're headed to Totoroa, and that is the sign of the albatross for May 1st through the 28th. And so as we get closer and closer to May, try to remember if you're in a difficult situation or you're in a situation where you really can't get out of it for the moment, go up into the observer mode. If you can't imagine an albatross, just picture being up, pick up on a kite or a hang glider or something, up in the clouds, and you're just looking down on the situation to give you some space and some perspective. Sometimes whenever we're down in the trenches with these things, we really just cannot see the forest for the trees. Yeah, now I'm up around the chest area and underneath the shoulder blades because there's a lot of, these. If you can get your shoulders back down out of your ears and go ahead and open up your chest just a little bit by rotating your shoulders back, get your angel wings back a little bit. One of the things that you can do too to help lower the shoulder blades is to turn your palms up. And then you can just rest those calmly in your lap. And by rotating the arms that way, that helps to open up the chest, the upper chest, and the shoulder blades itself. And that will help to ease off some of the anxiety that can happen whenever it gets wrapped up around your ears. We'll tend to curl into the fetal position whenever life gets really scary and tough and we're full of anxiety. Yeah, that's better. Some of the people in here, you've just taken a really nice deep breath. That's great. Well done. Well done. And of course, like I said, we are still in the last week of Tuatara, and so laughter will help to elevate your mood and bring your frequency up very quickly. I think it's adorable. In Japan, they have something that's called laughter yoga, which is great. And it can be anything on that, kitty cat videos, or I came across some silly bunny videos. That was great for Easter. Oh, they have such attitude. When bunny rabbits throw a temper tantrum, they thump their feet on the ground as a warning. I'm not happy. Which for a bunny is adorable. Utterly adorable. Okay. I'm going to work a little bit, do some energy around the palms. Oh, Paul. Can't wait to go for August. Going to go skydiving. Should go well. Now, wait a minute, Paul. For my BD? What is your BD then? Because I know it's not a birthday, because you just had your birthday in February. Bunnies are cool. Bunnies are fun. I've been stretching by hanging by my arms. Beautiful, Teresa Ford. Yes, absolutely. Your B-Day is in, I thought you told me your B-Day was in February. You're changing your B-Day on me, huh? Oh, well, hey, that's actually, that's kind of a good sign, actually, Randy. That means we moved things. Yeah, this is one of my favorite things. Teresa Ford, she's saying you can do some stretching by hanging from your arms. And the cool thing with that is, if you don't have some place to hang, just a couple seconds at a time, you can do. I call it fake hanging, but you just reach up over your head and then you look up because you're automatically looking up over your head, but you pretend to hang by something. Because you wouldn't believe how many people are like, well, I couldn't possibly do that because I, don't have someplace to hang by. And it's like, stick your arms up over your head. Pretend that you can actually grab onto a tree branch because your brain doesn't know the difference. And you're still getting the chin up and you're getting all of your shoulder and everything into alignment. And just like Teresa Fort's saying, you can do it just a couple of seconds at a time. And definitely it helps to loosen up the head. It loosens the neck and the top of the shoulder muscles, and it also helps to release the headaches because of that. Yeah, see, like Carl's saying, I thought Paul was a kidney. He's faking this out. Paul's got 2 birthdays now. Paul says he's a Leo though. So Carl is an Aquarian. Carl, are you a February Aquarian or are you a actually just give me your birthday, Carl. We'll see if you're Kidney or if you're Kipa. Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad. Carl, it's going to be doing the same energy. It all got worked at the same time. So it's going to be working on Cutie the same way that it did for Manny. Now there again, people have asked me, and unfortunately with kitty cats and just everybody else, it's going to be free will. So, like in the case of one of Carl's other kitties, Pepsi, I really didn't want Pepsi to go. I really like Pepsi. But he did give me the message before I worked with him that he was out of here. And I didn't want that. But he's like, it doesn't matter what you want. So it's going to be the same thing with your kitties, Carl. You do the best that you can, but it's literally up to you. Paul Freed's going to be the big 60 this year. Woohoo! Isn't that mind-boggling? I don't know about you, but whenever I was a kid, I never thought I would get to this age because, quite frankly, there was a lot of stuff that I did as a kid where it's like, I can't believe I survived that just now. Yeah, it's no big deal. It's a number. And Carl, you definitely are a kidney. Yep, with your birthday. Yep, right on. It is just a number. Yep, I don't buckle onto, and that's just it because, like Brandy was saying too, it's just a number, and so because sometimes people will dread a particular birthday, so as Randy is saying, it is an illusion. My first instinct, whenever it's like I am X amount of years old, okay, numerology is amazing. However, whenever you do that, whose numerology are you working with? I've had people ask me about doing, like, let's say this month, did you do a 4-4 portal? No, because if anything, I should have done a 4-11 portal, because in Lemuria it would have been my 11-11 portal, and then next month it would be a 12-12 for that portal. So just depending on the numerology that you're dealing with, and you don't have to be tied to that. And I've seen a lot of people too where they're going backwards in time. What is that called? Benjamin Button. Or they're just going backward in time. Teresa Ford. Yes. Yeah, usually we all got out there and explored and roamed and did things that, thank God, our parents didn't realize that we were doing. I mean, I can remember being climbed up very high in trees, and I remember being grateful that my mother and my friends' mothers could see what we were doing. And pretty sure that they already had prematurely gray hair from us. And they don't need to know the rest of it. We survived, which is cool. It's not to be bragged about. No, it's just simply to be, you stand there and go, thank God I survived that. I can't believe I made it. I must be here. Paul, I don't think any of us were. We were mostly good. We were good whenever it counted. The rest of the time we were just exploring. Yeah, it's just history. Yeah, what's this do? And the ever present, ooh, my bicycle did not actually make that leap. Yeah, I gave my grandmother white hair. Oh, no, I did. Oh, there's my 11-11. Oh, yeah. Never experienced that. Well, Randy, even if you never experienced that, the Telosians might actually have sent you on a pathway. I think you've got a goodie waiting for you if you ever get around to talking to them. You seemed a little cheesed off that you hadn't made contact already. Yeah, happy Earth Day. Our beautiful planet Matea. We used to plant trees in school for Earth Day. I often wondered if they ever made it, because it was one of those deals where they would take us out into, like, the back lot of the school and we would plant them. Oh my Lord. I don't think it's so much, I don't think it's a proper meditation. I was simply suggesting that there are different Pleiadian Telosian type meditations. And so I think that they were hoping that you would do one of those in order to reach you with the message. But they were indicating that you needed to make that action step towards them in order for them to feel like it was okay. And yeah, I'll talk to you about it later after the show. Yeah, came here for the scenery. School was a nightmare. My school wasn't too bad, but it was interesting. We survived, and the school survived, which is probably more to the miracle point than anything. I know. What was it? The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club was turning. I want to say it was like the 40th anniversary, but I really don't want to say that. Hopefully it's just like the 39th anniversary. No. Or the really big insult is whenever you're at the grocery store and it's like, you need to be, whatever the date is, needs to be your birth date or younger or older or whatever. It's like, yikes. Yikes. Yeah, there was some amazing movies back then. Ghostbusters, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That was fun. Yeah, there's a lot of, and of course, how could I forget the 80s without mentioning the Goonies? Goonies never die. Astoria is maybe about a half an hour drive from me. Oh, that was great. The house that they had in the Goonies, the Walsh's house, is they're busy remodeling that right now. Did you ever try the chip sandwich from it? I did not actually. You did. Forget it. It wasn't that great, huh? Yeah, the 80s definitely rocked. We had amazing music back then. And amazing movies. And of course, Back to the Future. Um, do I believe in the twin flames? I believe some people could be experiencing that. And the reason why is because I don't think all of us do, but I think some of us are. And the reason why is because we come from the central sun. We are the source energy. And I think some of the experimentations that we do is just to see different variations of things. And so for them to be able to split and go into two different bodies to try to experience that as a twin flame phenomenon, I could see an oversoul or the source energy doing that just to experiment with it, just to see what the different flavor of it is. It's painting with another color. So for myself, I don't have a twin flame. I found with my hubby, we're compatible. We have an amazing, um, I guess you could say, charts together. And so we complement each other. But we're not twin flames because the twin flame thing, from what I understand it, is the soul split itself on the other side to go into two different bodies, to incarnate into two different bodies in this lifetime. And then it tries to find the other half in order to connect. And so, like I said, I don't think everybody does this, but I do think some people are experiencing that just because of the experience. Chips and salt. Forget it. Oh, goodness. Carl, it's going to be up to Kitty whether he decides to stay or not. I really have no control over it. Paul, you probably would have an amazing book. You've done a lot. Yeah, from your own, it's really rare. Yeah, she's talking about the twin flames, and it's the same sort of a thing where it is. She's saying it's rare, like 5% or whatever. Yeah, but the scary thing on that too is that sometimes we'll see these things. Sometimes you can resonate with it, but you need to be careful not to be, what's the word, sent on a side quest, I guess, because sometimes you can spend a lot of years looking for something that doesn't exist this time around. You are, and you complete you. That's another quicksandy thing that I've seen too, where they're like, no, I need to find somebody else to complete me. And that's dangerous. That is codependency. And so you need to know you are complete. You complete yourself. And you are your own best friend. Hi, Utica. How you doing? Paul. That'd be a fun book. No attachments. Yeah. But you know, the nice thing too is when you stay in your own lane and you know that you are complete and whole as a person on your own, and you can fully love and support yourself, and you stay in your own lane, then that means that when you do find someone to share life with, you stand on your own 2 feet, and normally you are attracting in another person who is whole and mature and balanced and working on themselves. And it will go ahead and you'll be side by side as you go forward. Yeah, mostly it's about triggering the healing work anyway. I agree. You tend to attract people that you have the same, that what's it called, shared wounds, whenever you're working on the healing stuff. And if you're working on it together, it can be amazing. It can be really frustrating, but it can be amazing. And then, you know, when you've got it right, you can both work that friction thing, you can work off of each other, and it expands so that whenever it's healed, that expansion just kind of powers outward very quickly. Yep, that's what we are waking up to. Enough. We are enough right at this very moment. Well, it was one that was kind of profound because someone said that inside an acorn is the entirety of the oak tree. It has everything that it needs, even as an acorn. Even at that stage, it will grow into a mighty oak. Oh, Paul. Ouch. I'm so sorry. He got abandoned at the altar. That was not good. But I made it. Yeah, 1990 was another one of the roller coaster years. But you know, Paul, if somebody was going to leave you like that, they weren't for you. They were actually stopping some sort of a thing that would have been far more damaging, because for them to bolt like that, especially after everything, better to cut and run. I am really sorry. I bet that took some time to get over that. Didn't start looking into it until last year. Yeah, I think we left. Yeah, that's interesting because growing up, I had some uncles that they, they tried to do the dating scene, got rejected. That was it. They were pretty much bachelors for life. They didn't give that a try again. It's like no, 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 nope. Life's hard enough. Having my heart drug over coals was not fun. So I just kind of gave it a pass. But like you said, you could do one uncle. And just because that one didn't match, well, there's always somebody else. That big pond out here. So what did you guys think about this week? There's been a lot of things that happened throughout the week, didn't it? That was quite a holiday. Hopefully you guys didn't overdose on the chocolate. Yeah. Big weekend, wasn't it? Busy. Was it busy or was it quiet for you? Yeah, I just didn't human at all. What? And you have that option, definitely. You don't have to human. Don't follow the news. It was kind of expected, for the Pope to pass. Um, it was predicted. He, I, you've got the age thing, and then his health had really deteriorated. I would say, if anything, that he stayed here because of the love of the people and the prayers that were going on around him. And so it was kind of,
And I dipped into them a couple of times just to see. It's like, well, what do you think? It's coming, going, coming, going, coming, going. So, and that's not to belittle. I know people are going to mourn his passing. But yeah, it was time for him. He knew it was time for him. I had the energy for me for hypnicity. Randy saw cactus. The cactus flowers are incredible when that happens. Oh wow. Oh wow. So Paul's over in Pennsylvania right now. That's cool. Hypnicity, did your energy has it improved since then? And yeah, just like what Randy is saying, because of the heaviness, she went over to nature. That is exactly what you need to do because nature can help balance your energy pretty quick. Yeah, and that's just it. Your job is taking care of you and staying in your own lane and working on your own stuff. Someone else cannot do the inner work for you. You have to do the work yourself. Okay, Paul, you have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, you too, huh? Chemtrails. Yeah, I've been ducking stupid chemtrails ourselves. We've got different chemtrails. Different places will turn on the rain or turn it off. Ours, they spray something that scrubs the clouds from us. Just icky. But it is what it is for now. Yeah. Don't want to hurt. Won't want to hurt others with my wounds. Beautiful. Oh, Randy. Hey, don't duck. Hey, shield. Quack, quack. Wah, wah. There you go. Bring out the wah, wah. Sounds like a duck, doesn't it? Wah, wah. Me too. I love that too, studying weird topics. Yeah. Plus, there's just so many things in the world. It's like, ooh, what's that? I don't think I've seen that before. Pretty cool. Awesome sauce. Okay, everybody, I'm going to be winding this one down pretty soon. I don't have anything on the books this week, sadly. We're still doing some balancing and everything with the shop and everything that we were doing out here. So, thank you so much for stopping by, everybody. If you want more resources, I do have a link to my store down in the description box. Um, it is 396 hertz for this week, Utica, and then it'll be changing for next month. Next month, which starts next week, next with you will be 285 hertz, and this is just for support. The color support this month was yellow, and next month will be orange. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. You're so welcome. Thank you, everybody, one and all, for coming and hanging out with me. It's a lot of fun to do these. And as soon as I can, I'll be trying to do them a lot more frequency. But right now, we're just trying to get the seaside rooms established. So I know, right, Randy? I have done that same thing, but unfortunately, it was encroaching on my world. So, but yeah, just as soon as I can, I'll be trying to increase it. And I have reached out to a couple of people, so I'll see if I can do some interviews with some different audiences as well, just to bring in some different new people. And hopefully, in time, we will. I will eventually be doing something next month with Lorraine Gailey. We're going to be doing some sort of animal communication next month.
So it'll be interesting. Anyways, I hope you all have a beautiful week ahead. Remember, if the going is sticky, come back. You can absolutely, especially in the environmental conditions, you can play the replay. I'm going to try to timestamp it so that you will have the energy. It was quite different this week. So a lot more powerful. There were two whale energies that came forward, two grandma whale energies that came forward. So the multidimensionality of the Lemurian key codes are always kind of strong to begin with, but they were exceptionally powerful this week. So if you are feeling bogged down, dragged down, go ahead and replay those in your environment. You can play it in the room that you're sitting in the most. You can play it throughout your house, your home. You can put it on a loop. You can do it on a replay. And then what you can do is play that at a low volume. And that will help to move and balance that energy for you. Okay? And always, super fast, you can always go up into the observer mode. Just lift right up on those paranormal wings, which is your albatross wings. Up, 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 so that you go into the observer mode to get up and out of that energy, to get yourself some perspective. I know sometimes whenever you're in the trenches, it can be really hard to remember that. So if you can, try to remember it. You have those resources at your fingertips. Okay? Okay. Love you all. Talk to you next week. Wawa nui. Wawa.